It is time for my All Blacks player ratings against the Sharks. Now, I'm doing this completely without having the ratings prepared. I'm doing this straight from my head right now. The final whistle's literally just gone. I've just done my match reaction. Now we're going to go over the player ratings. But before we do, if you do enjoy the content, please don't forget to like and subscribe to help the channel grow. I really do appreciate all the support. Now, as always, player ratings are never going to be perfect, so if you guys do disagree, let me know why down below in the comments. Let's talk about it. Of course, I'm not an All Blacks fan. I'm a neutral. I'm trying to get as good as possible, knowing the All Blacks players, knowing what the All Blacks fans are trying to see from these guys and what they are seeing as well. So I'm trying to do that so that this greatest rivalry series, we can get the best content possible out to you guys. There will always be match reactions. There will always be player ratings. And next week, early next week, I'm going to be doing who I think the All Blacks will and who they should pick in that opening test against the Springboks. So if you do enjoy the content, please hit the subscribe button. Thank you so much for all the support. All right, let's get into it. Starting off with Ethan de Groot. First of all, Ethan de Groot. Great scrummaging today, good around the park. Once again, just a rock solid performance. So I'm going to put them down here as I do them as well. For Ethan de Groot, I'm going for a 7 out of 10 because in my opinion, Ethan de Groot was really solid today. He's been really solid over the last few games. And what I like to see from him, he gets stuck in with the work rate, but he's not scared to show off his skill as well. Wet ball, very bad conditions for running rugby. You still see him make the nice quick pass. And I think that's one thing the All Blacks players do really, really well, is that ability to get the ball out as quick as possible. The hands they have, they are very good, almost like an extra backline player at times. So a 7 out of 10 for Ethan de Groot, a solid performance. Now moving on to number 2, Asafu Amua. If you guys have been watching the channel, you know he is currently my favorite player in the All Blacks side. I was a little bit disappointed with Omua's performance today. I thought he would show a lot more today, a lot more kind of big runs, a lot more work rates, and I think that's the one thing that was kind of lacking for me from him, was his work rate. A lot better in the second half. Lineout still a little bit shaky. Of course, the conditions weren't the best, but it's just things like the height of the lineout, where you're aiming, stuff like that as well. So I've gone for a 6 out of 10. By no means a bad performance, a decent performance. I just would have liked to see more because I think there's a lot of times today where if he just got his hands on the ball, there would have been a lot more go forward ball, and maybe early on the damn wall could have been broken down for the All Blacks against the Sharks. So I just think a 6 out of 10 for him today. Nothing less, but I don't think anything more today. Back to Fletcher Neal, the other prop now, number 3. I've gone for a 7 out of 10. Very good scrummaging performance. And the one thing with Fletcher Neal is you never see him. Even if you're trying to look for him, you never see him. He's always getting stuck in. He's always getting stuck into those rucks. He's always kind of affecting the play in some sort of positive way. So a 7 out of 10 for Fletcher Neal. A good performance in my opinion. And I do like Ethan de Groot and Fletcher Neal as the 2 props as well. But of course, there's a lot of props in the team. Really missing to Mighty Williams right now in my opinion. And one of my favorite players to watch as well. A really good player. But Ethan de Groot and Fletcher Neal playing some very good rugby. Now moving on to the locks. I've gone for a 7 out of 10 for both Josh Lord and Sam Darry. These two are building a very good lock combination together, and I am a little bit nervous about this because a few years ago everybody's like, well, Brodie Retallick's gone, Sam Whitelock's gone, who's going to be the locks now? Scott Barrett's there, but we don't think he's as amazing as those guys. Well, there's these new guys on the block, Sam Darry, Josh Lord, Fabian Holland, all playing some great rugby and adding a lot of depth to the team. So I think in the lock department, the All Blacks right now might be in a better spot based on current form than the Springboks. The Springboks still have amazing players. Eben Etzebeth is the most capped Springbok of all time, one of the best rugby players ever. But on form right now, Josh Lord and Sam Darry might just be a better set, a lock combination than my Springboks team. So I'm a little bit worried there. Line out wise, line out time, they're fresh, they're young guys, they're quick, they're athletic. They might actually cause a lot of problems at line out time. Now moving on to number 6, Tupou Vaa'i. This is a bit of a weird one for me. I'm not too sure how to rate Tupou Vaa'i because if I'm being honest, I didn't see that much of him. But from what I did see from him, he added a lot of good play today. I mean, out wide, on the outside channel, in the tram lines, he adds those big carries. So I'm going for a 6 out of 10 for him. I don't think he was as good as a Josh Lord or a Sam Darry, but that might be a bit harsh. If I had a 6.5, if I did 0.5s, I would be giving him a 6.5, but I don't. So a 6 out of 10, but a very high 6 out of 10 for Tupou Vaa'i. He might just get the number 6 jersey against the Springboks, but talking about the other 2 guys here, Luke Jacobson, I'm going for a 7 out of 10. Very good over the ball. actually had a pretty good game in my opinion. Of course, he got sat down by Edouard Swart, but if you guys haven't not been watching South African rugby recently, Edouard Swart for the Sharks, the hooker for the Sharks, is a brick wall. He is made of concrete. He does this on a regular basis. He is a very good player for the Sharks, and I think honestly, in my opinion, Edouard Swart was probably the best player for the Sharks today, in my opinion. So for Luke Jacobson, a 7 out of 10. It might be a bit high, and I might have to change Tupavai to a 7, but still, I think Tupavai and Luke Jacobson had similar performances, but I think Luke Jacobson maybe got stuck in a little bit more into the unseen hard work, had a bit more of a high work rate as well, and I really do like him as a player, and I think the players actually respected him as a leader today. So 7 out of 10 for Luke Jacobson. Moving on to number 8, Wallace Atiti. I'm going for an 8 out of 10 for Wallace Atiti. I thought Wallace Atiti today, and I'm not going for an 8 out of 10 against the other guys. I'm going for an 8 out of 10 because Wallace Atiti has been really poor in the last few games he's played for the All Blacks. He's coming off a few injuries, not really playing his best, but today he was so much better. And I think the one highlight of his game today has to be that 15 to 20 meter pass out to the left in the rainy, wet conditions, a perfect spiral pass. He has so much skill, and that's why you can't not pick him against the Springboks. Whether he's starting or on the bench, you can't not pick him. He's won the Breakthrough Player of the Year before, the Young Player of the Year before, for a reason. He is such a good player, and even my uncle says to me from New Zealand, he says all the guys there in New Zealand realize Wallace Atiti in the future he can be a contender for World Player of the Year. He is a very good player with a very high ceiling. It's good to see Wallace Atiti playing with some confidence. He carried the ball a lot, quick hands as well. He was very alert today. He was just really getting stuck, and I really liked he was very proactive with how he was playing as well. So an 8 out of 10 for Wallace Atiti. Really liked what I saw from him today. But moving on to number 9, Kyle Preston, and there will not be low scores today for the All Blacks. Let's just face it. I mean, a dominant performance, no real bad performances. I think 6 out of 10 will probably be the lowest, but for Kyle Preston, I've gone for a 7 out of 10. This is the first I'm seeing of Kyle Preston, and I do like him because he actually reminds me a little bit of a TJ Perenara, where probably the perfect player to play off the bench, can play in that open game, can play in that structured game, slow game as well, a good box kick. I think there were certain times in the game today where maybe he was a little bit unsure of his decision making, but that's just not his fault as well. I think the whole All Blacks team were really shifting direction a lot, focusing on just completely bamboozling the Sharks all over the field. And I think Kyle Preston did really well with what he was given today in front of him with regards to how the conditions were, how he reacted to the conditions, and also what he did with his opportunity as well. So a 7 out of 10 for Kyle Preston, a good try as well, another good run as well early on in the game. Moving on to number 10, Ruben Love. I've gone for an 8 out of 10 for Ruben Love, and I know he was really good on the field today. I thought he was solid, played with composure, played with confidence, which is what we want to see from him now because he has the ability. He's got the hype around him. He's really good at Super Rugby level. And I've said this before, I said this in the match reaction. I don't think it's a case of he's nervous about who he's playing against. I don't think he was nervous to play against France at all, or nervous to play against Ireland or Italy. I think he was more nervous to play in the black jersey. For these big teams, it's not about who you play against, it's about who you're playing for. He knows, and you can just tell the way the interaction he had with Martin Nanu on the floor. You can just tell this guy's been looking up to this guy and looking up to this team and wanting to play for this team for his whole life. Of course you're going to be nervous throughout those first few games of playing in the number 10 jersey, where you have Carlos Spencer that's played there, Dan Carter's played there, some brilliant guys have played there, Richie Mo'unga's played there, Beauden Barrett, World Player of the Year before, has played there, some legends of rugby have played in that jersey. Of course these guys are going to be nervous right now. A much better performance from him, and you have to be honest about it. If he can kick like that from the tee, that will really help the All Blacks in those test matches against the Springboks, because both ways, the Springboks before have lost test matches against the All Blacks for missing kicks off the tee. Same way the All Blacks have lost games against the Springboks when they were probably the better team on the day by missing kicks off the tee. If Ruben Love can be accurate like that, especially from the sideline, that will be a big help to the All Blacks going forward. So that is definitely something to watch. Very good performance there from him, an 8 out of 10. And moving on to number 11, Caleb Clark. I've gone for a 7 out of 10. For me, I'm only going for 8 out of 10 today. If I thought someone was really good today, I doubt there'll be any 9 out of 10s, just around 8 today because of the opponents they were playing against. But still, Caleb Clark, a good performance, really high work rate, built his way into the game, and I'm enjoying the kind of output I'm seeing from Caleb Clark. Of course, we're not seeing these massive long range tries I think the whole rugby right now is in a level where you're not going to see too much of that. It's really going to be in different. You have to get to the right area of the field and then score from there and really work your way for a try, even against today a poor team like the Sharks. But Caleb Clark had a good game today, got his hands on the ball quite often, so I've gone for a 7 out of 10. Moving on to the centers, Jordie Barrett and Quinn Tupaia. As a center combination, both these guys together, I've gone for a 7 out of 10 for the both of them. Jordie Barrett, really good, smart thinking with the boots, always looking behind, always putting pressure on the backfield. Realistically today, it's never going to be like that against the Springboks with such a wide open backfield. The Sharks today had a very young, youthful, inexperienced team. That was kind of expected today. There was always options there in the backfield, but it is really good that the guys still took the right options every time. For instance, with Caleb Clark doing the cross kick that went out, that's unlike Caleb Clark to do a kick like that, but it was really good of him, IQ-wise, to actually try that kick out. Even if against the Springboks that space might not be there, there might be the one time that the space is there. They have to take those opportunities, so I thought that was really good. But I've gone for a 7 out of 10 for Jordie Barrett, and once again, a 7 out of 10 for Quinn Tupaia as well. Quinn Tupaia, a absolute workhorse for the All Blacks, a really big workhorse. I think this guy really has what it takes to be one of the best outside centers in world rugby, and I'm a massive Springbok fan, but I truly do believe that Quinn Tupaia can become the best outside center in the world. Currently, I think JC Creel's been awesome the last few years, but what I'm seeing from Quinn Tupaia right now, if he can do this against the Springboks, against other big teams as well, the way he played in Super Rugby, there's nothing stopping him from being the best center in the world. So this center battle against the Springboks is going to be so amazing, and this is one of the reasons why. So a 7 out of 10 for both of those guys. Fehi Finyanganoffu, a bit of a rough start to the game, rough under the high ball as well. So I've gone for a 7 out of 10 just because of the way he was in the first half, but the way he grew into the game, beating defenders. I mean, the little stop-start against Bradley Davids in the corner was just absolutely brilliant. It reminded me a lot of a true All Blacks winger that's good with his footwork, physical as well, and he just plays with so much confidence, and he definitely is one to watch for the number 11 jersey for the test matches. I mean, I think the coaches do like him. I think everybody likes him that watches All Blacks rugby. He doesn't seem like he should be moving that fast or moving that quickly, but he does. He's a great player. So the number 11 jersey currently, it's either Caleb Clark, Josh Morby, Fehi Finyanganoffu, Imoni Narawa, or Rieko Ioane. And I think right now it's probably the top 3 spots between Caleb Clark, Josh Morby, who I think might just have it, and Fehi Finyanganoffu, who is a brilliant player. Moving on to number 15, didn't play that much of the game. I've gone for Damian McKenzie. I've gone for a 6, I've not gone for Damian McKenzie. I've given him a 6 out of 10 for Damian McKenzie. A decent performance with what he had. I mean, he should have scored 2 tries in this game. I almost thought that other one wasn't a try. Maybe if there wasn't splashes, maybe it wasn't a try. But, I mean, we can't tell. And if it's not clear and you can't really clearly tell what's going on, you can't overturn the decision. But still, good with the boots. Not his best game, but really, Damian McKenzie's the type of player. He's going to play so much better against the big teams. Let's just hope that his injury right now, because he was battling a little ankle injury there on the field, let's hope it's not too bad. He did come off before the half, I think it was. So a 6 out of 10, not a bad performance, not a great performance either. Couldn't really see too much. Now moving on to the replacements for the All Blacks. I thought the bench was absolutely brilliant for the All Blacks. Brought the energy, brought the scrum dominance, brought the set piece dominance, brought the intensity as well, brought the skill set. I've gone for an 8 out of 10 for the replacements for the All Blacks. Of course, by that point, the starters already did their job. They broke down the damn wall. They did the hard, unseen, nitty-gritty work. They really got stuck in. I mean, the guys like Josh Lord, Fletcher Newell, Ethan de Groot, Tupou Vai, Wallace Atiti, Luke Jacobson, Jordie Barrett, Quinn Tupaia really just kept nailing down the Sharks. They kept trying to break down that damn wall. Eventually, it gave in, and the bench came on at the perfect time, which you have to say, good call by Dave Rennie, because it takes good coaching and good understanding of the team and what's happening right now with the game, the momentum to make those substitutions at the right time. So a brilliant call there by Dave Rennie. An 8 out of 10 for the replacements for the All Blacks. Very good performance from them. Really like what I saw from them. Maybe a few guys are putting up their hands as well, but I think the last opportunity to put up their hands is against the Bulls. That's been my player ratings. A massive game against the Bulls before the big one, before the game at Ellis Park, the greatest rivalry series, number 1 versus number 2 in the world, the biggest rivalry ever in rugby, the most respected rivalry as well. Let me know down below in the comments, do you agree, do you disagree with my player ratings? I am doing it right after the game. I don't want to go back and watch the game. I want to do these player ratings with with exactly what I thought I saw in the game, my instant raw reaction to the game. So thank you so much for all the support. Please let me know down below if you guys saw something different. I was trying to watch both teams, player ratings for both teams coming out as well. So thank you so much for all the support. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.